And we're rolling. Rolling coal.
Rolling coal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess we could talk about cars.
I guess so. I guess we are going to now.
Yeah. I was driving past that garage we went to a while back. They had the RX-7 in it. The black RX-7.
Which garage?
The one on the way here, I think you were getting your car cleaned up or some paint fixed or something.
Oh, yeah. That body workshop.
There was that RX-7 and there was a Evo.
Yeah.
And that was really cool to see it.
Were they still sitting out there? There used to be two Evos
I didn't
out there,
see
a white
it.
and a red one.
I didn't see any Evos, but...
Yeah. They disappeared one day. I guess somebody bought them. They baked outside for years.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be surprised, but...
Beautiful RX-7. I really like the RX-7.
That thing was insane. He said it made like 800 wheel. That's so stupid.
On a rotary.
Yeah. It was 3 rotors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dorito power.
Yeah.
Boop, 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 boop.
So cool, man. I wish they would bring it back, Mazda.
They're just not... There's not efficient engines. As far as like exhaust output is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
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 That is unfortunate, though. German. It was originally a German motor.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Japanese took it and ran, though.
As they do.
Mm-hmm. Never invent something. They just make it better, though.
Mm-hmm. Mazda doesn't seem, I think, from what I've seen, hasn't been trying to move into electric cars.
Really?
Yeah. They're trying to make the gas engine just as efficient as they can.
Yeah.
With their Skytech, I think they're calling it.
Those new... what are they even called? It's essentially just their new, like, 4-door... What are those things called?
Sedan?
Yeah, it's just a sedan. They have a turboed model, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the something 3.
MX-3?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's their normal sedan, the MX-3.
They look slick, though.
I think all
The new
cars...
ones?
I know that we, like, talked about our grievances with, like, all these cars that don't have, like, frame body types. So, like, the paneling doesn't fit to the frame.
Yeah.
And it's all about, like, airflow.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that really looks ugly and puffy, but I think a lot of cars are moving.
Yeah.
Like, the past 5 years of cars looks way better than the thousands era cars.
100%.
They look way better. Even the Japanese who don't care about looks for the most part, they're making their cars look a lot cleaner.
Yeah, like the new Camrys, the Camry Sports or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought I'd see a Camry actually look mean.
They look mean. All the Civics look mean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Even the new, like, Sequoias and Tundras are looking stinking.
Yeah, the Sequoia used to just look like a pillow.
Yeah, my mom has a Sequoia, and
Yeah.
it looks just like this puffy pillow. I could, like, punch a hole in the side of it.
Mm-hmm.
But now it looks, it's gorgeous. And I really like that. I like that they're starting to appreciate how it looks a little more.
One of the things that I found troubling is I heard that the new Tacomas, their build quality is actually kind of subpar. Yeah. Like I saw a video of some guy using one finger and he could move the whole front bumper of his new, like brand new Tacoma.
Mm-hmm. I think build quality has gone down a little bit.
Those might be,
But
surely there's manufacturing plants for Toyota in America, right?
I couldn't tell you for sure.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't think they're all imported.
Mm-hmm.
It might just be American or Mexican-based manufacturing plants that are kind of skipping out.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually heard even in Chevy, which, you know, in terms of, you know, Euro, American, and
JDM.
JDM, yes. You know, America kind of falls somewhere in between or below.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard that, you know, Chevy 1500s, the trucks, which is supposed to be their longest lasting, you know, most reliable vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Some guy got his differential failed within like 60,000 miles of owning the vehicle.
Yeah.
He's
I
like-
don't think any of the new cars are being built to last. I think
No,
that
yeah.
I think they're more focusing on turnover because people are buying cars faster than
But
ever.
he said he disassembled it himself because it failed, and he's like, "There's no way." The way it had been assembled in the factory, from the time it drove off the lot, it was as if the differential already had 120,000 miles on it.
Wow.
So
Hmm.
he, you know, maybe it's not anything to be said about the actual parts themselves, but it's just simply how they're being assembled.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been told by people and I've come to understand this just with like reviews of newer cars that,
Mhm.
you know, stick with the older car that I have. Because like my car's reaching 100,000 miles, the Honda
Mhm.
Civic Si,
What year is it again? 13?
2013.
13, yeah.
And that already was like new enough to have like some issues.
Right.
But I haven't had any issues. But I've just heard that the newer cars are having issues at an unprecedentedly high rate.
It's very interesting.
And I don't know, it's just indicative of like new car, cheaper
Right.
price, have it for a couple years and get another one.
Mm-hmm.
We're just turning over cars faster instead of like making them last because I don't know, our buyers and advertising are making us like believe that we need things faster and newer. Like
Right.
before the iPhone came out, people weren't buying a new phone all the time.
No.
But now we want a new iPhone like every 3 years. And they're
Mhm.
making them obsolete within 3 years so that we do get a new phone.
It's honestly pretty ingenious.
It is. It's how they get money at a more regular
Mm-hmm.
rate.
I think it's actually kind of evil how iPhone stair steps their feature releases.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the iPhone 14 Pro with a 48 megapixel camera. And everyone's like, wow.
Well,
It's simply because they don't know anything about what else is on the market.
yeah.
Was it the S23 from Samsung?
Mhm.
Has a 128 megapixel,
Not even comparable.
which is probably close to what this M50 has.
Yeah. But the post-processing in Apple's
Right.
images is way better.
The software there's something to be said about the software.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Which
you know,
is why people want it.
it's even more ingenious too because Apple has direct control over the updates and how that affects older hardware. Oh well, I need the newest phone to run the latest software that has the newest features. I guess I'll just upgrade.
Yeah. And even the telecommunication companies like AT&T and Verizon are giving you deals to get the new phone.
Yeah.
And deals are only a way to get you to buy the new thing. They're not
Yeah.
actually deals.
No.
Yeah.
Get 4 free phones for increased amount per month, you know.
You got to think. Oh, they're not losing money on that. They're making money somehow.
Yeah.
The phone actually doesn't cost that much to make.
No.
Think of everything economically as you can. Manufacturers that are giving away things for a deal are getting more out of you than you think.
Certainly.
And right now, they're really getting good at advertising as they have to make you buy that new thing. And so, yeah, things aren't built to last anymore because they know that you'll buy a new one. They know that they'll be able to crack you and convince you to get the new thing soon enough.
You seen the body style of the new iPhone 15? The titanium?
Mm-hmm.
It's the exact same body as this 14.
Yeah. No, they're not innovating.
No.
The only sector that I see innovation in right now is the AI sector, which is,
Yeah.
it's upgrading and advancing at a rate that I've never seen any technology since, like, I saw my parents first get the iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually making extreme changes every month
Yeah.
to the whole system.
Scary advancements.
Scary advancements. Yeah.
What scares you the most?
What scares me the most is that people that are in the lower sector are going to use it to, greater divide the upper class and lower class. So to cheat and get through school just to get through it. Like, you can use it as a tool to make you better, but nobody sees it that way.
Right.
If you have the mindset that you're going to use it to cheat. You can use it to cheat. You can use it to do well in school. But you can also use it to study and speed up menial tasks and lower your need to do certain little things like format a Excel table or anything like that. You can do that like in like a second.
You can actually tell it to create tables
I can create
for you?
Excel tables.
Really?
Yeah, and the Japan trip we're talking about, I can use an Expedia plugin to actually plan out the trip and optimize the date at which we leave to have the lowest cost.
What?
Yeah, I can automatically type in and it can plan a whole trip. There's so many things. It can create images, it can do that.
There's no loading time either, which is, you know, messing around a little bit with the free version of ChatGPT. It just instantaneously starts generating.
Mm-hmm.
It is very...
It's incredible. So
intriguing,
it's taking away menial tasks. And so, I mean, if you think about it, if you're a menial worker and all you aspire to do is a menial job, you're gonna be quickly disappointed because that's gonna be gone very soon.
Yeah.
You have to advance, and you have to use it to advance, or else you're gonna be left behind. We're gonna have AI that's as smart as people that are really low IQ, which isn't their fault, but...
Do you ever think that AI will have an edge, or, let me ask this. Do you ever think AI will be able to understand morality?
No,
No?
because then it would be human.
Okay, that's good.
It can understand what people... It's impossible to get all the information out of someone's brain. I don't think Neuralink... I think people have a misunderstanding of what Neuralink is.
Is that the thing Elon Musk
Musk
is
yeah.
working on?
It can really only analyze brain signals and then take those and transfer them into like arm movements. So like prosthetics will be improved because it can automatically know like, oh, it's telling you to move your arm. Boom. You know.
Right.
But it can't be like, oh, he just thought about a moral dilemma and now he needs to figure out what to do next.
Yeah.
We're not there.
That's good because, you know, as someone aspiring to go into the field of law, I feel like a lot of that's morality based, especially in terms of trial and whatnot. So hopefully I'll be future proofed in that sense.
Well, yeah. We can't give AI the authority to decide right or wrong because right or wrong isn't like a measurable thing.
Right. Do you ever think that society will completely rely on AI at a point?
I think that I don't think we'll completely rely on it. I think.
But to the point where it'll be seamlessly integrated.
Yeah.
For example, like having a phone. I remember a point in time my mother and father had the Razors. What were those? The Motorola Razors. My dad wouldn't even take it with him anywhere. It would stay. If he took it, it stayed in the center console of his car.
Yeah.
He wouldn't keep it in his pocket. But now you can't go anywhere without your phone. So do you ever see it becoming we'll just use AI?
Yeah. I do see that.
Okay.
I do see that I mean, just industry wants to make you dependent on everything.
Yeah.
If you read the manifesto thing, you'll kind of realize this. As much as we can be dependent on different systems to fulfill our needs, whether that be social or fiscal or anything like that, it can greater control us. We need to be outside the box and we need to think for ourselves because AI can't genuinely create a new thought. It can just present you things. That's all it can do. So we're not going to see any innovations made by AI itself, except for the fact that it can do things that are just like over and over again tasks and and even thoughts like that. So
what would happen if you told it to think of a new idea?
What it'll do is it'll take all the knowledge it knows and basically, so think of AI as like having a jumble of words. Just this like, I don't know, words in space, like a cloud of words. And what it does in the human language is it takes and it pulls new ones together and it puts them out to you. But as far as its reach goes, as far as the knowledge base it has, is as far as it can go. So like, it couldn't develop a new theory of gravity.
Right.
Or anything like that, because those are things that we don't even know. It knows what we know and it can do what we can do. But it can't do what we can't do. So you need to be indispensable.
Right.
That's how you future-proof yourself with this innovation.
In a way, I mean, I kind of see what you're saying about the divide between higher and lower class. You think it would divide the classes as much would divide calibers of intellect?
Yeah.
Because now people that already have the ability to be intelligent must use it to the nth degree. You know.
So yeah, we're going to see complexity and detail and depth in like intelligent work be much greater than it ever was before.
Wow.
So like right now,
so this
we don't need to waste our time actually mapping anything out.
Right.
We don't need to waste our time
mapping what out?
Like, so for me to get home,
Yeah.
I don't need to think about how to get home.
Right.
I can just go home with
Yeah.
my maps.
Yeah.
Or any place. That was...
Oh, you're talking about literally mapping things out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So time spent on things is going to be lessened on tasks that can be performed by the AI. So tasks like just like formatting things or gathering data and putting it into a seamless thing that you can read and just putting things together so that people can actually understand it will be much faster. Everything will be accelerated in that sense. So then, with that data together, you can learn from it faster and then further advance with the new information that you already have.
Interesting.
It'll just speed everything up. It'll speed up like... So say in the past I would need to spend like 4 hours developing a presentation for my economics class to provide the information that I need to do on a project. Whereas I can do that instantaneously now. So schools need to reformat in a way that...
I feel like that's going to be hard.
It's going to be really hard. Schools
Because,
are going to have to change from the ground up to make students think again.
I've already noticed in syllabi for my classes, the use of AI generative software is strictly prohibited.
I don't think it should be.
How are they to know, though, that I'm even using it?
They won't.
It's impossible. They're just saying that it's like WinRAR. Please pay for WinRAR. Close. And then you can use it.
I mean, people are like, you can detect AI, but you can't. Because you can't. I mean, you can because the AI can detect itself. But then
Really?
all you have to do is tell the AI to say it in a way that's not AI-like. And then you got around it. I've seen people actually do Word document tests on this.
So you can generate an AI script.
Yep.
And then you can copy and paste that back into ChatGPT and ask it, did you create this?
Or did an AI generate this? And it'll be like, yeah, but...
How does it know? Like, what are the...
Just the patterns.
Really?
The patterns of it.
That's incredible.
And that's beyond my understanding, is how we can develop patterns to understand how AI speaks.
Right.
But they know. But, once again, it's just we're gonna have to think a lot more, which is something that we've kind of forgotten because we've been so dependent. But I think that's the only way that we can
In a way,
get out of this.
This is good then.
Oh, it's a really good thing.
Motivates, it spurs actual intellectual thought.
It's gonna innovation's gonna be like crazy, even just off it, and our ability to move into new concepts is gonna be really good. But if someone isn't approaching that, someone isn't using it to do that, and instead just endlessly entertaining themselves, knowing that they can spend less time on work, and it's just not going to be good for them.
Right.
But I think schools need to figure out a way to change how we learn things from, like, oh, you need to learn this stuff for this subject, and you need to create things that show that you understand it. I think it's going to take a lot more human-to-human connection to understand it. So, like, instead of creating a presentation to show people, I simply have a conversation with the professor, and he can actually evaluate my understanding of the test. When I was in Prague, this is something I really liked about the universities in Prague. They had like on-paper tests, which are still a good thing. And then they also had, like, I forgot what they were called, but you had to talk with somebody about it. And they would, like, ask you questions, and then you had to right there articulate what you know about it. And that was one of the tests as well.
I feel
that was
like
part of their midterms.
That's kind of like, at least in my imagination, how I envisioned Greek scholars.
Mm-hmm.
It was all, they had maybe tablets or pieces of wood that they were inscribing on, but other than that, it was all about what you could actually practically verbalize about what you understood.
If you can't verbalize it, you don't understand it.
Right.
And so I think that, like, presentations and papers aren't going to be able to be enough anymore to show that you understand something. I think we need to change how we understand understanding in the schools.
That's very interesting.
To get around that. Because and I don't think there's any reason that we should limit AI or limit ourselves to using it just because we might not understand it. I think that the schools need to change, not the students. I don't think we need to be able to fit that in.
So it honestly sounds like should the necessary changes take place, AI and its prevalent use may actually be a good thing for society.
I think if it's used for good, I think it can only be a benefit.
What would be a way that you see it being used for bad?
Well, if you become totally dependent on it
where it's just lazily being used.
Yeah, so people need to, if an AI can do the tasks, that's probably not what you should be moving towards. You need to, and that's why it's going to separate the lower class and the upper class. People who are already in the lower class and have no way of getting out of those menial jobs that are not face-to-face, those are going to go away. But, like, servers or things like that have already been tried to be automated, but they're not going to be automated.
Right.
Because people do value in-person, like, face-to-face time. So I think, and I don't know, maybe it's wishful thinking, but I think that AI should bring us closer together and make us, like, if we use it the right way, it should increase our face-to-face time.
I hope
and
so,
thoughts and depth of thought.
Because I've noticed...
and it should increase our time to be able to do that.
Right. I've noticed a very great decline in social interaction. I feel like people almost don't want to talk or be around other people.
Yeah, because they're trying to understand the world as it's presented to them, dependent upon what they're given. But that's what AI does. We have to think outside the box. We need to be able to think for ourselves and Talk to other people about it. That's the only way that innovation happens through this, is building upon what we already know. And what we know is now presented at a rate that it's almost seamless to build upon the base. So college should be shortened, you know,
That'd
to
be
only,
interesting.
I mean, not necessarily, I mean, if we were to approach college with the same rigor as, I mean, if we were to approach college with actual rigor and we weren't wasting time with projects, like every student I talk to is like, I'm wasting my time on this homework. It's not actually teaching me anything, which it could if you actually like sat there and did it yourself.
Right.
But those things aren't intriguing to do anymore because the AI could do it. So we need to,
I think
if we were to just change how we had to do things, then we would be forced to learn
Right.
it. We would have no other choice but to learn. If a professor told me I had to have a conversation with him about the exam material, there'd be no other choice but to actually learn it. Or he would fail me.
Right.
There aren't stakes like that in college right now.
No.
Like, I mean, some midterms that are on paper require that. But if...
It's mostly just what you can reproduce.
It shouldn't be copy and paste. It needs to be copy and articulate.
Yeah. Evaluation. Yeah. Interesting. I think the homework stuff you're talking about, I think that might be based on field.
Yeah, that too.
Because I learn a lot from my homework in engineering, you know. Because that's all method-based, though. I'm just essentially memorizing a method.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes maybe that method's obsolete. Then why'd you learn about it?
Yeah. Because every engineer I've ever met that says, you know, none of what you're really doing right now will be helpful.
Yeah, because we have software now that just does it. So what's the point of us learning it?
Right.
If software can do it, let's move past it. What does the software generate that'll be useful?
Yeah.
And then what can we do with it to actually further innovate?
Right.
So we basically need to move, so there's this timeline here, what we need to learn, and what's already done. Okay, what's already done, what's already automated, we need to move it back to where, okay, this is not essential to learn because it's already automated, so let's go past that. What like theoretical limit do we have here? What can we approach that's actually going to be beneficial to the new?
Right. Stop it and we can continue.
All right. That is our time for this section, I guess. Oh, we're just continuing from there?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Okay.
For a little bit.
Yeah.
So then that makes me wonder, well, not wonder, but school should then be used as part of the advancement of our knowledge as humans.
I mean, that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but not from a point of I climbed so far and now I turn around and tell everybody what it looks like from up here. It should be everybody continuing to climb. Like, what can the students discover?
Yeah.
What can the students discover that I may not have discovered?
Yeah.
Where it's just...
Everybody has a part in this innovation. We live in a world where, like, the basis of knowledge and tasks that we have to do to actually to get to that innovation, it's way too high than it needs to be. Because everyone can contribute to something. We're stuck in this, well, you need to learn this much and you need to pass this test to actually be able to contribute to the field.
Right.
Whereas, like...
advancement is not based... I mean, it is based off canon thought. But I think it would be more efficient in terms of innovating if everyone was just thinking. Even those younger than those that are far more advanced, you know.
If a task is already automated, I don't feel there's any use to... I mean, as far like how... I feel like you're paying for a university for the ability to be in a career where you can innovate
Yeah.
in a way that's specific to that field. So what's the point in learning things that are already like said and done, automated? Well, maybe there's some point to it as far as like, what if these systems go down? But I mean, we're paying for a university trusting that the world is going to continue going.
Mm-hmm.
And there's already people in those fields that know the history of it.
Right.
Why are we learning the history of theory?
Yeah.
Not saying we shouldn't learn history. I'm just saying that like some things are automated enough to where
Right.
like we don't need to learn these theorems that are obsolete.
Right. Specifically, like in the case of engineering, when I'm not going to use, should I become an engineer, I'm not going to use the formulas I'm using in fluid mechanics right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's all going to be based off of a calculator, essentially.
Yeah.
When I could be learning way more advanced problems that are applicable directly to the field,
Yeah.
should I have the ability to use the calculator in school?
Yeah, I mean, I think the lesson should be more like, what are the current people in the field working on?
And what are the problems that they're
And
dealing
what
with?
are the problems they're doing? Why can't they move on?
Right.
If we learn about that, then we can automatically be contributing to the breadth
Yes.
of work that people are working on.
Yes. And that's what I meant, yeah.
And I feel like that would be more exciting too.
Yes.
You're like, I'm contributing to the world.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. You know, in my dynamics and machinery class, there actually is a bit of that applied where we're actually building a crawl assist for 2 infants right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we will actually present it to them at the end of this coming week.
And those are projects worth doing.
Right.
We're, like my economics project right now. And this is the only class I'm actually genuinely interested doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a new project with, you know, a relevant amount of knowledge because I don't have access to all surveys and all data of people as like people with PhDs do who are in universities or professors. But it's something new. I'm creating a regression that analyzes the difference in lockdown states versus non-lockdown states during COVID-19 and their effects on drug use or risk behavior between those years,
Interesting.
which hasn't been, I mean, it's probably been done before,
Mm-hmm.
but it hasn't been done in this specific way. But I mean, and the whole class is just, this whole class is formulated on teaching me how to do it.
Right.
And that's why I like that class.
Is the whole class assigned the same project, or this is you? Like, just your subject?
This is the class.
Okay.
So, but whereas other classes are teaching me like how to use the software, which is also useful. Like, I don't know. It's interesting where the world is going.
Mm-hmm.
And I really would like things to change, but they wouldn't benefit the university to completely change how they formulate it. And I don't think it would benefit the world, but it wouldn't benefit their pockets. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll change anything. I mean, if they could take us to where we can innovate within a year, well, then what's the point of keeping us for 4 years? Right?
Love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
You know?
It would be
Yeah.
cool, like, I don't know, Jordan Peterson is starting a new university
His own university.
online
Hmm.
that are teaching groundbreaking stuff, like groundbreaking lectures that are on new things.
What's it called?
Peterson University, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But it's really cool because he's basically taking these professors and telling them, teach what you want to teach,
Yeah.
which will be everything that's going on.
Could you get a degree from this?
That's the problem.
It's not accredited.
Is because they've only gotten a general education accreditation.
Dang.
So accreditation is in bed with colleges that
Yeah.
give them money. So, but those people that come out of that are going to be so much better for the workplace than anyone who comes out of college. For sure. And I'm hoping that the businesses will see that and then be like, well, we're only hiring people with this. Even though they're not accredited, it's... So, like, businesses have to change their way of evaluating people as well to be the same way. Articulate what you know about this field and how you could contribute. Instead of, oh, you have a degree, now you're more useful than the next person. It's not about if they have a degree. That's why Elon hires the people he does, and the way he does. He's talked about this. He wants competent people.
College is a scam. If you think about it, though, seriously, if what we have just determined is that college is not, the emphasis of college is not scholarly innovation and progression.
For the most part.
It's regurgitation of information that has been held canon for decades.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Universities' architecture is meant to make you feel like you're in a very important place. Mm-hmm. Sporting events. These are all things meant to make you feel... It's almost like the Roman Empire, like give them bread and wine and
yeah.
They'll be happy. It's a distraction because at the end of the day, all we're doing is getting a degree to get a job that just benefits people that make money.
Yeah. So, Jordan Peterson talked about it in his presentation of this new university. He said, and I think he actually had a study on it, that more people are going to college now because it's social than to actually be academic.
You just go because that's what you do.
You go because otherwise you're going to be left behind socially. And so college is providing your social needs instead of actually providing what it should, which is academic rigor that will put you in a place to change the world.
But instead it's just to get a job, to get a slice of a pie.
And now it's just to get a job that also is looking for the wrong things.
Yeah.
And so we have people that are unmotivated because they don't think they're contributing anything. And they're unsatisfied with their job because they're doing a menial task that doesn't take their ideas into account. And we all know whether my words mean anything or not. Like, if you're not doing something new for yourself, if you're not creating something, you're not pursuing a goal to create something, you're going to be sad, because that's motivation and drive towards a goal seems to be the only thing that makes humans happy. You know?
Kind of goes back to the meaning topic.
Mm-hmm. We find meaning through our drives.
That's so interesting.
And so if we're stuck in a place doing a task that someone else didn't want to do, that's what AI can do. Let's focus on what we're here for, which is
all
adding.
Loops, man.
We're trying to add, not to simply just keep it the same.
Right. I think that might be a good place to conclude.
Yeah.
My brain's kind of fried. Once again. That's a lot to chew on.
Yeah. We need to keep college because that's the only thing that people employ, but employers should hopefully realize that competency is way more important than any kind of degree or authority.
Well, you know, John D. Rockefeller created the K through 12 system. Mm-hmm. And he didn't want to, it's a quote, he didn't want to create thinkers, he wanted to create workers.
Yeah. That's interesting. I never knew about that quote. I mean, that's what we're seeing reflected.
Yes.
Slavery's not around anymore, but
perhaps mentally.
Ideologically,
yes.
That's exactly what this workforce is creating.
I mean, as humans, we're very adaptive. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if everything seems as though this is how it's always been, you know, that's what we're going to adhere to.
And since none of us are thinking out of the box, I mean, just look at it like this. What did the slaves do? They were fed. They worked to do a task that benefited the master, and they didn't see any way out because they didn't see any way out, and they didn't necessarily in slaves that weren't like beaten and stuff. They had all their needs provided for. So why were they unhappy being slaves?
There was no control.
Because they weren't controlling their own lives.
Right.
So what's the difference now?
Yeah.
We're working a job.
And everything I've done from 6 years old when I joined kindergarten to now has been, I mean, I would say from kindergarten till probably midway through high school, it was aimless. It was just, this is what I do.
Yeah. And so the difference now is that we live in a different place and we have some kind of choice in the job that we aspire to be in.
Illusion of choice.
We have the illusion that we're free and that, oh, I work a job, but I could quit at any point. No, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't quit at any point. You can't just go off and go to Japan for a month because you need money, you need your needs met, you need your social needs met,
It's just
you need your
enough.
sexual needs met.
It's just enough.
It's just enough to keep you in
Right.
to needing to be doing these menial tasks to actually provide for yourself, but it's not enough for you to actually go out and control and make your own world, you know? So I see very little distinction now between slavery, like ideal slavery that wasn't beatings, but slaves, say, back in like biblical times where they were provided for.
I mean, yeah, the Israelites wanted to go back to Egypt.
Yeah. Because
We could eat when we were slaves.
a great adventure is daunting, but it's the only choice we have as humans to actually build our lives and be happy.
Nothing is based off survival anymore. It's not, well, I don't like this job, but I can still live. No, everything is dependent upon income and money.
It's really sad seeing friends nowadays who are like, I just want to work a job and work it for the rest of my life and provide
awful.
for my needs.
I know a lot of
That
people
doesn't
like
sound
that.
awful. That's slavery.
Yeah. It's too comfortable.
But it's really hard and really daunting and really scary to go outside of that box where you're like, I don't know if I'm going to make enough money to provide for myself. But if I don't do this, I won't be happy. That's the most daunting part, is the risk. But that's the only choice you have if you actually want to have a fulfilling life.
Nothing great was ever achieved without hardship.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And where the willingness is great, how does it go? When willingness is great, the adversary is not.
And so there's just so many things that people aren't thinking about or realizing. Maybe there's things that I haven't realized or thought about as holding me down, like even like social pressure to be physically fit. Like, is that really a mission that is going to count for anything? Like appearing handsome all the time? What does that do?
Yeah, it's a good point. Being physically healthy is obviously important. But,
physical health is important, but
is a whole
being a
different-
bodybuilder is a completely different thing.
Right. It's very interesting to think about.
There's a reason socialism will never work. It's because we're not slaves. No one wants to be slaves. Deep down, ideologically, it might make sense for your needs and happiness. Like, oh, I have all my needs met, so I'll be happy. But your real need is to
be an
to
individual.
subdue the earth, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the whole ideal behind communism is it is the destruction of self.
Mm-hmm.
It is the we.
Yeah. And what does that make us into?
Slaves.
Mindless, robotic slaves.
Yeah.
But the world is what it is, and we
Mhm.
can't necessarily change it overnight, but feel as if all of our mission should be to change things
Yeah.
for the better. That's the whole reason I want to pursue something in psychology. It might not mean that I get a PhD in psychology. It might mean that I simply use something like this as a platform. It might mean something else. I don't know what will allow me to be able to help people realize this. But even just talking to people is the best thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Shooting for 10 views on this episode.
Yeah, no. I don't have any goal for the views. I just want to provide something that's useful, hopefully thought-provoking,
Yeah.
and contribute something to the world. That's the whole reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's where I found meaning.
It's very inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
Truly.
Yeah. All right.
It's very neat we can just add to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can just film with a camera and put it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. That's something that's so awesome. I think I find YouTube so valuable because it's one of the last frontiers
Yes.
to be truly like free in our expression.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of censorship now.
There is a lot of censorship now, but
In general, I definitely agree with you.
mm-hmm. It's one of the, I mean, as we're more connected, this is one of the ways that we can actually use that connection to benefit us instead of holding us down.
Mm-hmm.
Being connected is not always a good thing, but the transfer of ideas is a good thing. Yeah. Okay.
We'll do the outro.
We'll conclude this little mini podcast. Well, I guess this one will be probably an hour long, this section. Hopefully it's thought-provoking. I hope that, yeah, that's all. That's my only hope for it. So.